Alright, welcome back everybody. We got Anderson squats again today. So again, that's a front squat that starts from the bottom. A couple people asked me about how to scale that out. And don't forget about your warm-up. You got 50 Russian kettlebell swings. Idea is to go unbroken and go as heavy as you possibly can. So let's say last time if you had a 15-pound dumbbell, see if you can grab a 20 or a 20-pound kettlebell or whatever. Even two dumbbells, 210s, whatever in each hand. Still works on that engagement of the glutes, driving the knees out, keeping the abs nice and tight, and it is a hinge. And then with the 100 side bends as you go through. So as we go back to the Anderson squat. I know Dave and I went over it a little bit during that first time through with that movement. It's probably brand new for most of you. But the biggest part of this one is that it needs to be as heavy as you can. And the goal would be to always set it up from the bottom. Now, I understand that this may not actually be achievable for most of you just because unless you don't have the actual setup, correct? So, what you can do, find something heavy. Chair, cooler, dumbbells, sandbag, maybe a backpack that you can add weights to it. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a legitimate metal cast iron or bumper plate or dumbbell or whatever it might be. Simply just adding random objects that weigh certain amounts, canned goods, things like that. Those things add up rather quickly, as we all know. So put it in some bag that you can just pick up and hold in front of you as tightly as you can. If you can put that on a chair and slide it onto you in the bottom of your squat and stand up with it and set it back down without everything falling out or falling apart or anything like that, that counts, okay? And then you can always add, maybe another backpack, or you add a weight vest or something to make your body heavier, and then you add that external load out on the front, okay? So really be creative. Don't let anything hold you back from something heavy of that nature, right? I'm sure there's plenty of things that you can use that would be rather heavy and challenging just for you, okay? And the same thing goes to that hole too. So they take that same weight, put it up a little bit higher on a counter or a table or a bed or whatever it might be, lift it up, hold it for the 20 seconds, set it back down for the 10 when we get into those Tabatas, which will be tomorrow, because today we are splitting. But that's something you can play with on your own. Now, kind of had a little segue into it. Why did I decide to split it today? The goal is to go heavy today and not worry about necessarily a ton of time under tension, right? And that's what that Tabata front rack hold comes from. And as we did it that first time around, you know how difficult that can be, or at least you got exposed to it the first time. So today, goal is to get through your warm-up, go as heavy as you possibly can. Take your time setting up, doing your jumps and your weights and things like that before you start your clock, and getting into it. So you really, really challenge yourself on how heavy you can go with that Anderson squat, because that's going to be the main focus today. Heavy weights, like I've talked about before with the sit-ups, toes to bar, GHDs, things like that, is that when you are under an extreme load, putting your body under stress and extreme stress, your body has to adapt. So if you are squeezing tight, flexing those abs, that's what's going to give you that muscle definition in that movement, or in that, basically that muscle group, right? So if you're doing, I used bicep curls last time, if you're doing something super, super heavy and you're doing bicep curls, what happens? Your arms start to get sore. Same thing with your abs. And I'm sure most of you have sore abs at this point in time. But if you think about how it progresses, adding more weight is what gives you a ton of that definition and strength. Yes, size comes with that, but trust me, 42 days worth of you doing abs is not going to make you massively bulky. This is just mainly about trying to get that definition, get that look, get that feel, and train yourself in a different way than you ever thought about. A lot of people struggle with how to target certain muscle groups and how to get abs, things like that. Those are all of the big goal things that we all see and we all want to do, and how to do it. Well, this is unlocking it. So really think about where you want to go. What did you do last time? Set yourself up so that you can go within, 5 or so, maybe 10 pounds less than what you did last time. on your Anderson squat and try and go heavier. If last time you have no idea what it weighed, but you're like, oh, I put 2 gallons of milk in there and whatever else, know what you put in there and see if you can add a little bit to it. Maybe you can do 3 of them. Just FYI, a gallon of milk or a gallon of water definitely weighs about 8 pounds. Guess what? Take that same gallon and fill it with sand. Probably going to weigh significantly more. So that's something you can kind of play around with. 5-gallon bucket at the house. Start with adding water to it. Add sand, add rocks, whatever. Add a couple rocks to that 5-gallon bucket. Pick it up off the workbench, stand up, right back down. Chair or whatever it might be. 5-gallon bucket doesn't cost a lot. You can get rocks anywhere, dirt, all those things add up. I know it may not be fancy and great, doing it from like a commercial gym, but guess what? You get to do it at home whenever you want to. So think about that as you go. Those small jumps, work your way up. Find something heavy that really challenges you. For somebody else, that challenging weight might be 15, 20 pounds. Another person it might be 100. Other people might be 300. Whatever you're at, just make it something that's challenging for you that you really struggle with. As soon as the elbows start to drop, as soon as your ascent, the portion in which you actually stand up, starts to slow down, guess what? You might only have a little bit more weight left on those reps, and that's fine. Make that jump. Because we have, close to 3.5, 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks or so left of this thing. So that things are going to continue to progress and try and get heavy. So base it off of that and keep it going. So good luck on these Anderson squats. Goal is to always just try and stay as low as you can. Elbows tight, chest up. Got a really good squat. Make sure you're driving through the heels as much as your toes, not just the toes, not just the heels. You want to need equal pressure so you have that balance in the body and you have that weight and bar properly. So good luck. Stay super tight. Make sure you're set before you stand up. Try not to ever put yourself in a position where your back is super, super rounded. Having a rounded back not necessarily is a bad thing, but if your back rounds continuously or adds to that more of that curvature of your spine as you lift, that's when the red flags start to go up. Okay, you're really starting to get into that really high upper end range of weight, motion, whatever you're working on, and you're starting to really kind of put your health and safety into jeopardy. So be careful with what you do. Be smart. You guys know if you have anything, please send me these videos. I will critique them. I will help you and do everything I possibly can. So keep working hard, everybody. Keep it up. I'll probably chime in here towards the end because I work up to the 280 Anderson squat today, which is significantly heavier than I did on the first one as I work through. So make sure you're tracking your weights, know where you're at, and know where you're going to go. And we'll go through this. And I will see you guys when we get back to those L-sits at the end.
Doing that again?
Yeah, I'm
gonna video.
I've got 3.5 more minutes. Yep. I did 250 last. I was surprised I did those front squat singles the other day with 315. Why would you use a hook? Right.
When you're, I think the hard part is going to be when you're in the academy, you're going to be busy all day. Once you're done and you're actually working, you're not, right, you have time. Yeah, for sure. It's always about the goal, brother. in the world after, you know? And the majority of people that are going to do this, like the rest of the 95% and below, like you're probably going to get top, what, maybe 75%, 80, maybe, you know? So for them, like this is the department, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, big dog. What's that? Good.
So every time they on these,
That was tough, but not hard at all. It's just that initial tightening up. Come on. Drive. Got it. Elbows. Good job, brother. Good fight. Yeah, I like that negative up the head. Beautiful. That was awesome, dude. That was hard. Good job. Yep.
you know what to do. So I come back like that.
I don't.
Nasty, brother. So, are you going to?
All right,
you're
I'm
only
back.
gonna be here-
L-sits. Now these are very, very challenging movements. Hardest way would be supporting your own body weight on the floor, dumbbells. These are called parallettes. The next option would go into a hanging like ring option would be that middle ground, and then the easiest option would be kind of going into a point where you are hanging from like a bar of some kind. So think about that. This is perfectly straight out in front. Not easy, trying to go as long as you possibly can. The goal of this is just to try and keep your feet up off the ground. So if you're doing this maybe on the edge of your coffee table, just keep your knees bent, keep your feet up on the ground as long as you possibly can. Really challenge yourself. How long can you hold? The straighter your legs are, the more challenging it is. So another option for these could be you doing one leg at a time, switching back and forth maybe every 5 or 10 seconds without your feet touching, going from that bent knee option. When you just start to really burn out with the straight legs at all, even one or the other, then you go to the double bent knee option as you're going through. So L-sit doesn't necessarily have to mean the legs straight. You can bend them. You can also go straddle, which would be feet apart. That is another option to make it a little bit easier as you work through. And that works for any one of these, whether you're hanging from a bar, rings, whatever it might be. Even supporting yourself from rings is another option as well, going through these. Try and limit the rest time you have between, let's say maximum 2 to 3 minutes, okay? I go a little bit faster on this one, but the longer that you're going to rest, the longer you're going to be able to hold just because of your recovery pace. But if you think you can go back and get a good hold, whatever that might be for you, 20, 25 seconds, a minute for some of us, then don't be afraid to go right back to it. But focus on really keeping the position, even if the knees are bent. Keep the knees tight together. Squeeze. Try and keep those knees up towards the belly button. Legs straight out because you do want that L sit. Not doing V sits. And we're not dropping the feet super low. So for this one, if you're going hanging, the goal will be to just keep those feet right at hip to belly button height as long as you can. Once those heels start to droop down below your butt, that's when you're really starting to lose a lot of that tension in the core. So I have one more set here. You guys can watch and see how long it takes me, how long I kind of go through this thing. And good luck. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Come on, come on.